All right. Mhm. Hello, everyone out there. So, as you can see on the screen, my name is Dr. Kemi Adetuyi-Olu-Francis. And the lecture before us this moment, I don't know what time of the day you may be watching this. It's the delivery of, sorry, okay. All right. So, we're talking about general and subject methodology, and we're going to be looking at the concepts and benefits of individualized instruction. The concepts and benefits of individualized instruction. So our focus here is to be able to, that is at the end of this lesson, the learners, the students, everyone that will participate will be able to explain the concepts and the concept of individualized instruction. Also to enumerate with explanation the benefits of individualized instruction. Okay, so I want us to look at this picture and what does this suggest to us? If you look at it very well, because unfortunately that you are not here, this is a recorded, you know, video, though I'm making it live so that as many that could join are free to join, but um, it doesn't give room for that interaction. So sorry about that. So, however, this is a picture that I actually want us to explore. We can see a library kind of setting. We can see systems, desktops, and we can see learners. Every learner is a child. So these children here are taken to be learners. And from the look of things, you can see that there is a child that was working on a system on his own, and there are two other children working on the same system. That these ones are collaborating, they are doing, work together, and while another is working on his own. So this suggests an individualized instruction. We also have here where teacher is guiding learners. Learners have their gadgets, working on their gadgets, and teacher goes round to check what is going on, just to guide the learners, not to go outside of the concept or the topic of focus. We also have another picture here. You can see, group of pupils or children or students seated, and there is a teacher, and you can see interaction, participation. You can see the teacher trying to explain some concepts, learners paying attention, a student raising hand, or two students, sorry, raising their hands to indicate that they have queries, they have questions, or they have, clarifications they request or they require. So now to why we are here. Individualized instruction. This refers to a teaching approach that tailors instruction to meet the unique needs, unique needs, unique abilities, and unique interests of each learner. So I want us to take note of the keywords unique need. That means this need is peculiar to this particular individual. Unique abilities. Some learners have higher ability than the others. And then unique interests. This interest is peculiar to the learners. So it means that you can't have the same set of students in your classroom. They must have different needs. They must have different abilities. They must have different interests. But you must be able to ensure that you tailor your teaching to meet all of these requirements for you to be able to adopt adequately what we call individualized instruction. I move further to tell us that it is significant today because it addresses the diverse needs of students. It maximizes students' potential and fosters, independent learning. These days, young people want to be engaged with gadgets, with electronic gadgets. Young people want to go online and explore the world. So individualized instruction is a kind of approach that enable that enables the kind of atmosphere, the kind of environment, the learning environment that supports what the young people crave these days. The 21st century learner is one that want to own his learning, that want to own, his progress. So the teacher is there to guide, to support, to, ensure that they are not going out of the context or out of the given curriculum so that there won't be confusion, so that there won't be, disjointed learning. So for the learning to be coordinated, for there to be progress, the teachers are there to facilitate, to guide, or to, so to say, to coach the student because they are the players on the field. So I like us to move to principles. There are two major principles of individualized instructions, and the first is it is student-centered. Individualized instruction is student-centered. So this puts the students, the learner, at the center of the educational process, like I've said earlier, and ensures that the learners are participating actively. The learners participate actively. So as a teacher, you ensure that you create an enabling environment for your learners to actively participate. And that is the major focus of individualized instruction. And this also makes it established that that child is in charge of his learning. So it is self-directed learning, self-directed learning. So it means that the child is directly or indirectly directing what he or she wants to learn. And the second major principle is that it is self-paced. It is self-paced because the learner cannot move at a global pace. They can't move as a group at a group pace. So each learner will move based on his pace. So it allows that child to progress based on his ability, sometimes based on the availability of resources. Some learners are not willing to explore all the available resources, while some are so inquisitive and very curious to explore all the available resources, which will enhance the progression of their learning. So individualized instruction enables that flexibility. So it allows students to progress at their own pace and providing this flexibility and autonomy. So the learner owns, the space and can easily explore. Now, there are diverse benefits. And these benefits are broken down into four different segments. Okay. Number one is individualized instruction or individualized learning enhance student motivation or enhances student motivation and engagement. And we can talk about this to mean that learning will be tailored. That means students are more motivated when the content is relevant to their interests and learning style. So the learning is tailored to meet, to respond to the student's interests and learning style. Then it allows for that increased autonomy, that students feel empowered. They feel empowered when they have control over their own learning pace. Like I said the other time, that a child may not be willing to explore, while another is willing to explore. So the one that is willing to explore, such a child feels on top of the world. That, oh, I'm able to do this. Even when my friends are here to do, I'm there doing it. So there's this feeling of, I put it, like they feel fulfilled, you know. Then that's what we call positive reinforcement. That is personalized feedback, you know, for machine learning, for online learning that require, feedback, that requires reward. So when you miss it, you see that, oh, you missed it. And then you don't want to go as a loser. You want to give it more trial. You want to ensure that you're able to meet up once, at least once the platform is set up in such a way that you could revisit what you missed. A very good example of that is Coursera, whereby you're given some task and you have opportunity to go back and retake. If you miss, maybe you get less than maybe you are expected to get 75% in a particular task, and you at the end of the day you got maybe 68. It gives you room to go back and retake the exercise, or to attempt the task. So these are what the students want to achieve. So it is not like you're learning. You're not exposing your students to a kind of a rigorous situation whereby it's either they get it or nothing. So there is flexibility. There is room for them to improve on whatever they have done. Maybe they made mistake in it or whatever. So that is that. Then we also have improved. Okay, so let me take down completely. So personalized feedback and recognition can boost students' self-esteem and confidence. So just as stated there. So when they're able to, oh, I missed it. 68%, no, that's not for me. I can put in more effort, that is boosting their words, their self-esteem, and giving them more confidence in themselves. Okay. Then we have improved learning outcome. So that is another benefit. There will be improved learning outcome. Students can dive deeper into context, into topics. They can move from even simple to complex on their own. So they learn deeper. It allows for deep learning. Okay, so we also have high achievements, which is what? Customized instruction that can help children reach their full potential. Then there's a development of strong problem-solving skill, because the students, are faced with tasks that will enable them to think critically, and then they want to tackle the problem, they want to tackle the challenges, they want to ensure that they're able to jump the hurdles and then face the challenge and overcome. So, and I gave the example of that Coursera task, that once you are able to achieve it to the best of your strength, then you find out that, oh, you didn't get the expected score, you want to reattempt. And that is, strong problem solving skill. Then we have improved teacher effectiveness. So there's an outcome of teacher effectiveness being improved, because now the students can freely dive into learning and learning at their own pace, learning based on their interest, learning based on their learning styles, and then the teacher is able to make a meaningful, impact in the life of them, because you're there to ensure that the content that they are to take in is given to them, and they're able to explore as much as possible based on available resources. And lastly, uh, we have, okay, so based on that, we have what we call data-driven instruction, whereby teachers can now use data to inform their students and to make adjustments when there is a need. So you go online, you feel like what I'm doing right now, I'm doing a live video and delivering this content. I'm going to share this content link with my students who will sit down at their own time to watch this YouTube video and do whatever they need to do. So that is data driven. That is data driven. And then it's also give what we call effective time management. Effective time management in the sense that, oh, sorry. Yeah. So we have what we call effective time management. Okay. So not just the students, even the learners, even the teacher can manage the time effectively. The teacher can manage the time effectively as well as the learners. So the learner can choose. Some learners want to learn maybe when everywhere is quiet, at their own pace, at their own time. It's not something that everybody must be seated. So it's enable them to effectively manage their time. Okay. Oh, sorry. I think I've stopped sharing. Just let me quickly do that. Sorry, Mara. Um, okay, so the other aspect of it is the fact that there is this job satisfaction in the heart of the teacher. Like you see your students performing, achieving. You're seeing that change in behavior that learning represents. So you're seeing that, and then you're very, very elated. So that also is one aspect of is a benefit of individualized instruction. So we also have fostering self-directed learning. So learners become independent. Learners become independent. They can learn on their own, and learning can be lifelong. Learning can be lifelong. So we look at strategies for implementing individualized instruction based on the nature of the individualized instruction. And education is employed to adopt the following strategies. So, personalized learning plan. So you have to develop what we call personalized learning plan for the students. Such plan that will enable the student to set, their own personal goals, which you will have to put side by side by your own goal, by your own goal as set. That is the requirement of the lesson, of the content. So based on this, it appears that you are both on the same pedestrian. Okay. So great. Then secondly, we have, apart from setting of having a learning plan for each student and setting the goals and objectives. There must be monitoring of the student progress. Why should the student's progress be monitored? So as to adjust where need be. So as to adjust where there is a need. So, on these notes, what's happening to the live? Okay, that's great. So, on these notes, if the content that has been planned for the learner is not suiting the learning style or the learning needs of the student, the teacher adjusts the content or adjusts the approach. So this is critical as a strategy to implement individualized instruction. Another strategy is the use of adaptive technology. The use of adaptive technology. So, the use of adaptive technology talks about such software or platforms that can enhance the delivery of content. Such softwares and platforms that can enhance the delivery of the content must also be put in place. So, apart from that, there must be provision for all the learners to have access to available the resources. All the learners must have access to resources. All the learners must have access to the resources. So here, if the available resources cannot go around all the learners, the teacher must be able to improvise, either by grouping. I give a very good example of Kahoots. I know many of you know Kahoots, or some of you know Kahoots, and some of you do not know Kahoots. Okay, so Kahoots, if you are using pro version of Kahoots, I think it depends on the version. I mean, it depends on your subscription. You can have access to 100 players, 1,000 players, and all of those. But if it is a free version, you only have access to 10 players per game. We call it game, but that is per activity. So for Kahoot, you can change the title of the activity. So if the activity is matching the objects, for instance, you can have it as matching the objects group 1, matching the objects group 2, so as to enable all the participants, all class members to have access. So the same thing with other physical, maybe gadgets or objects. Like I was showing us in the last picture I showed. Okay, let me go back to each of them. From here, from this picture here, you can see that there are many systems, many desktops available. At least we can see that there are monitors, even where we cannot see the cubicle very well. So from the cubicle, we can see that students may have access, many of these pupils may have access to all the systems. Fantastic. But where you have more than we have more students than the available system. You can pair them and give instruction. We also have here where we have the tablets. That's some of the students are paired. You can see that where the teacher is standing, we have 2 students to a tablet. Whereas beside these 2, there is 1 student to a tablet. So that also would depend on the availability of resources, but it must go around. But here, we have just 1 globe. We have just 1 globe here. And having just 1 globe here, the teacher made it so centralized for all the students to see clearly. So if there is any need for any of them to spot out a particular region, at least they all have access to it. But where we don't have such setting, you have to look for a way and improvise, because individualized instruction requires that you allow all learners to have access to the resources. And so I move back to where we're coming from. More so, the use of technology to facilitate communication and collaboration is very key. It's a very useful strategy for implementing individualized instruction. Don't forget, we are migrating into the digital world. In short, we are already in it. Just few people are yet to accept it as the new world. The new world is the digital world. So you cannot adopt individualized instruction without the use of technology. You cannot. To facilitate communication, to facilitate collaboration, to facilitate teamwork, you need the technology. You need technology. And above all, because it is individualized instruction, the primary focus is on the individual differences. Individual differences. Now, each child is peculiar, and you must respect each child as being peculiar. You must take a child for who he is or who she is. Some are fat, some are big, some are slim, some are tall, some are very aggressive, some are very calm. We have the extrovert and the introvert here. The personality traits must be respected. And the key word in individualized instruction is respect. You must respect the child. The child that does not love particular learning, that does not have an interest in a particular activity should not be talked down, should not be shut down or demoralized just because he or she does not have interest in that activity. You must look for a way. You must understand that child's interest, what fascinates that child, that you will now introduce for that child not to be left behind. So respect, 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 respect is very key when we talk about individualized instruction. Respect is very, very key and important. So you must respect each child for who they are. And you must pay attention. Excuse me. You must respect each child for who they are, and you must pay attention to all concerns. So, what is now the demerits of individualized instruction? Yes, it can be time consuming. It can be time consuming because you have to pay attention to all the children, all the learners. So individualized instruction is actually time consuming. Apart from being time consuming, is also not cost effective because you want to pay attention to the needs of all the pupils in your under your watch. So you must, it enables you to spend more, to do what? To spend more. And another limitation or another challenge that can be seen as a demerit of individualized instruction is that it requires the teacher to do more. So it may bring about what we call burnout. So it has what we call increased demands on teacher time and efforts. So there may be burnout, there may be fatigue on the part of the teacher. So, and finally, some students may not respond. They may not have what we call self-regulation or self-motivation that will enable them to own their learning environment or learning space. So these are the demerits of individualized instruction. It's time consuming, it requires more resources, it can bring about burnout for teachers, and some students may not be willing, may not respond and own their learning as expected of them. So, dear students, on this note, I want to conclude this lecture. And if you have any question, any comments, you can as well drop this at the comment section just below the video. Thank you for your time. Bye for now.